Well, we nearly broke the desk, but also, guess who's joining us? It's Deb. Very exciting. Okay. I'm gonna start this over. Okay, that was a disaster. This won't stay still, and I'm gonna lose my mind a little bit if it keeps doing that. So we're gonna try to adjust it so that it stays in one place, ideally. Okay, I have a bunch of work to get done that I feel like I've only taken 48 hours and people are yelling at me about, but that's okay. Um, I knew I had to get it done tonight, but I'm also like, it's literally been 48 hours. Like, I think everyone can take a breather. Um, but I understand. Like, I want to make their job easy. Anyway, I'm not going to complain about work because I'm so grateful to have it. That was wild. My desk tilted all the way over the last live after I cleaned it. So here we are again. We're going to put 20 minutes on the clock and do this in 20-minute rounds. Part of me is like, should it be 25? It's 80 degrees in my house right now, and I want to not be doing anything. So, and my mouse isn't working all of a sudden. So we're gonna get going here. Things are gonna be good. Okay, 20 minutes on the clock. Good luck. Ready, set, go. Oh no. Bing bong break time. Dove cam. Dove's here. You can tell she's actually thrilled that I'm pointing the camera at her, but look, she's so cute. Hi, baby. She was on my chair because the desk was in standing mode, and I had to move her from the chair, but I didn't want her to go far. So she's chilling. She's so cute. I'm gonna take this out of the thing because it's like harder to see, but hi, do you want to say hi? She thinks this is a bitey toy, so. Oh, she's so sleepy. Hi, baby. I'm just bugging you. I'm sorry. I usually let sleeping cats lie. You're so cute. I cleaned my desk, so now she can chill on the desk. She's so calm when she's calm. I literally just described her as a firecracker, so she's really living it up on the desk. She's so cute. Hi. Her fur's growing in on her back and like her belly. She got shaved right before she came home. Do you want the camera back on you? You're a little star. Anyway, I should hide this. I'm doing a bunch of work. Hope everyone else is having a good evening. I cleaned off my desk in a different live, and then when I put the standing desk to a sitting desk, it got caught on something, and everything like slid sideways, and it made a ton of noise. And we're fine, and everything's fine actually. So feeling grateful for that. I have a bunch of Lego to pick up, but when do I not? I am never getting another Lego set and not gluing things together as I go because, oh my God, you're never going to need to dismantle this shit. You know what I mean? Like, I should have never made it without gluing it. There's no reason that I would ever want to take all of it apart. I have the succulent set over there. You can kind of see there's like, they've kind of fallen apart. And I have the wildflower, I have the bouquet. And I do like them. Like, I use them, they're all over my house. Like, I love them, but I'll never do it again without super gluing as I go. Because I don't, I'm never gonna want the pieces, and they fall apart so easily, and you can't like dust them. I also have the orchid set. People were getting me. Weem chews flowers. Weem likes to chew on plants, so I can't have flowers or plants. Oh, she's becoming more of a ball. This is so cute. She's really, really cute. Dove is really smart, and she's got a good personality. She eats her food really well. So well, she always wants weeb food as well. I'm gonna run out of battery for that. That's so frustrating. I could charge my iPad off my computer, I guess. I used to do that. Is that possible? Is any of that plugged in? I don't want to deal with this. You can always tell that I'm over it because I am just whining today, but like I don't want to be doing it. I don't know. I'm so tired. And they're like breathing down my neck for a fucking thing that isn't happening until April. And I'm like, okay, like I can do that for you, but I also only accepted this gig 48 hours ago and we've got until April. Which means like we at least have until January before this has to be like locked, you know? I understand planning ahead and I appreciate it. I'm not trying to shit talk my clients for wanting things, but I'm like, it's 9:00 at night. I'm working on this. Like I am working on this, but also like I don't like to feel pressured to work on things at 9:00 at night. I do it because I have a full-time job and I can't work on them during the day anymore. And when I didn't have a full-time job, I was bad at working on things. Okay, we've got 10 seconds left before the next round. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be great. I believe in you. Good luck. Deb says good luck. I'm gonna move the camera. Okay. Bing bong. thought I had more time before the iPad would die, if I'm honest. By the way, Dove thinks every wire is a toy. So that's really cool and fun. Do. Is this thing gonna work? This webinar will focus on helping school faculty and staff plan their end-of-year meetings, creating an agenda that will allow attendees to share their honest thoughts, provide insightful feedback, and leave feeling hopeful and energized about the year ahead, the next year. The next school year. We will get specific and delve into how to plan a successful end-of-year meeting from both a philosophical and practical point of view. Everyone who attends will get hands-on experience with multiple facilitation processes, helping we'll also receive this meeting and every meeting going forward. Some of the common problems when crises stress are described. Teams, feedback turning into an unfocused event session, and the pressures we face as leaders can lead to overpromising in order to make attendees happy. In this webinar, we will break down the overall structure. Plan a successful meeting. Explore different methods. Create psychological safety with our groups. Enhance the collaborations within our teams. Emphasize the facilitation skills. Increase trust in our leadership. Bio. Claire Bolger is a facilitator, podcaster, and comedian who's determined to use her expertise and facilitation methodology to rid the world of. Phrase that mean it could have been an email. Absolutely. Wow. Guys, I'm really nailing it. Is really what we're learning here. Blah 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 blah. I think like the meeting. I misspelled medic. The meeting medic. Boop, 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 da 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 da. Boink. Bloop. Yay, I sent my thing. I don't care that there's 42 seconds left because I know that there was a bunch of stuff that I missed I went over time, you know. Um, I love when people this is like one of those like I know I'm being a brat about this. But it's very funny to me when people are like, "How can you think this opinion you have is correct when there's other things you could be devastated by more?" And it's like, well, one, I'm usually being hyperbolic, if I'm honest, because like I'm talking about a specific thing, so I'm gonna say that's the most devastating thing. But also, I'm so opinionated. Okay, I'm gonna try to catch up on the chat because I couldn't catch up on the chat. Yay! Bing bong break time. Everybody take a break. I do remember Vine. I'm sorry about the centipede in your ceiling light. That sucks. I hate when things are in the light. I have so many photos of this one apartment I lived in because the roaches that would get in there were massive. And then I would sleep in the living room for one night and then I would be like, oh, it's fine. I don't think I've ever seen them come out of a light. Ugh, I hate seeing them, even if they are the good guys. Oh, cover letters are the worst. I'm so sorry. I literally cry every time I have to write one. It's like a thing. Okay, you guys ready for this? Dove cam. Dove is still here, and she is still sleeping. Hello, hello. Oh, Weem, do you want to come on the desk? You're allowed. You never wanted to before. Weem gets jealous, which is so fair. I don't want you to be jealous. I want you to know that you're doing great. Oh no. My desk earlier had a bit of an issue. Hi, did you want to say hi? Yeah. Okay. When I was putting it down and it sounded like everything was breaking. Oh, are you interested in the die? The little D&D die? Yeah. That's really cute. That's really cute. You're very cute. I'm petting Weem, otherwise I would be petting Dove, but I only have two hands and one's holding a mic, so hang on. Hang. Now I have two hands. Dove, it's very funny that you're on screen and in front of me delayed and walking. Oh, that's really funny. That was really cute, Dove. That made me really happy. Hi, Weem. Basically my desk, I like lowered my desk from a standing position and it got caught on the edge, so it all tilted backwards. And I wasn't thinking, so I just like slammed it down on the ground. It just like removed the thing. And everything went everywhere. Like my candles fell and like the dice were really dramatic. I've never actually played D&D. I wanted to a few years ago. My friend got me dice that I honestly don't love and I'm not really friends with that person anymore. So I was very nice about it to their face, but like if they're not like my style, and also like they're bad, like they're not like well weighted or anything. Oh, she got a 7. I mean they're very pretty, but they're just like not they're not what I would have personally picked out for me. Um, and now that it's Virgo season, I'm getting a bunch of videos being like, Virgos are very particular about gifts. And I'm like, it's not even that I'm particular about gifts. It's, and like, some people have said this in a way that I'm like, ooh, I actually really appreciate that reframe. Like, it's just that like Virgos would always have something, like, it's like something like quality over quantity. Like, don't get them like a bunch of chocolate, get them really nice chocolate. Um, and things like that. So, um, I mean, I that's the thing is like I know once I get into dice, I'll get really because they're fun and they're pretty and like it's a cool thing to have and like yeah. Um so I don't know. If anyone wants to take me to a D&D game, let me know. Um I think there's the thing with gifts is I think the number one most important thing about a gift is that it's thoughtful. And like it can be thoughtful in any way, shape, or form. People get really, I think, obsessed with like one form of it, but really it's just like, no, I want to know, like, gifts should make people feel seen and witnessed. It should be like, if you're, I keep a running list, and if my friend is ever like, I should get this or I really want this or like they mention something and then they go, "Oh, that's too expensive," or like I shouldn't spend that. I'm usually the one who's like writing it down in my notes app. Like a few months later I'm like, "Would they still want that?" Um so that's that. I technically have to start work again, but like I really don't want to and it's 10:45 and I'm kind of like, I could go to bed. Like that could be the move here. I feel like I should do another 20 minutes work because I do have a Substack idea, but I don't wanna. I also have to fill out this form, but it contains a bunch of sensitive information. I have to look at my phone for it. I'm just gonna complain. I have had a rough day and a rough week and a rough month and a rough summer, and I've been really holding it together as best as I fucking can. Um, but my battery is low. My battery is low. And I've been neglecting myself and I just need a win. I need a win. And I need to give myself those wins. And part of that is like waking up early, doing my laundry tomorrow morning, working out in the morning potentially, even though doing my laundry is kind of a workout. But also when my laundry's in, I can run to the like thing. Like I just, there's always so much to fucking do. How is there always so much to do? But I did clean my house a little bit today, so that's a win no matter what. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking so that everybody can focus for the next 20 minutes, and then we'll chat more. I'm sure. I want Dove to come back. Dovey. Bing bong break time. That was good. I want to see how much I wrote in those 20 minutes. My guess is that this is going to be 565 words. 949. Okay. Well, the next time I'm complaining about writing, I need to remember I can write 1,000 words in 20 minutes. Hi, Weem. And I cried while writing, so that was cool. Oh, I miss so much. Finding the right therapist is like a hero's journey sometimes, but I think it's so helpful. I had some really terrible therapists when I was a kid, and then I found my like favorite therapist ever, and she was so great. And then I didn't continue working with her because I went to college. And when I was trying to find therapists in my 20s, I was like, can I just send you a video of me crying instead of having a first session with you? Like, I need to catch you up on all this stuff, but I don't need to be in the room. Like, I need you to know this backstory, but I don't want to linger there. Yeah, the American healthcare system is terrible, and there's a lot of propaganda, and it's really annoying. And I get and this isn't fair, but I get the most frustrated every time when we're having Democratic debates, which we haven't had a good Democratic debate since 2020, and I could talk about the 2020 Democratic debates forever. I have that shit memorized basically. The thing about the left, quote unquote, it's not actually the left, but like traditional Democrats, is a lot of unions don't want to give up the bargaining chip of healthcare, which is really fucking stupid. And Jane McAlevey used to get really, really annoyed about this because she was like, you're not a good union leader if you can't come up with another bargaining chip. But the reason that in America healthcare is tied so much to employment is because during World War II, they had to make things fair and equitable, so no one could offer incentives to work that were monetary. So all of the companies started offering healthcare and other bonuses that were like offsetting the monetary stuff. So yeah, unions are great, except as Jane McAlevey used to say all the time, they're only as good as their leadership, which is also why you have like unions like the Teamsters, which are great unions, but when they're led by shitheads, you're in shit. I'm so sorry. It's so hard. It's so hard to not have income. Like, I wrote about this a little bit in the Substack, but for the first like 6 months of this year, basically, I was just like going into debt every single day, and like pulling myself out of that now that I have like a 9 to 5 has been like really tough. Ooh, yeah. Wait, did you put the book in An American Sickness? Okay, cool. I love I'm going to listen to that on audiobook. It's so frustrating. Like, no, that is the thing about American tax stuff, is just like Americans have been sold a bunch of bullshit, and then they get defensive about like handouts and needing help or wanting help or whatever, and it's just it's crap. It's crap. It's always crap. Oh god, part of me was like, I think I might be done, and the other part of me was like, I should really finish this essay and send it out because it's like good and it's real and it's raw, and that's good, you know? Gotta feel your feelings and then send them out to 500 something people because a bunch of people subscribed to the newsletter because I was like, hey, let's talk about the towels that Ilya and Shane are wearing. And then I sent out another essay being like, have you noticed how many times they touch hands? And then I've never talked about them again. My bad. I've made something like 450 videos about them. I am all for immediately getting any resources that you can. Take one thing off your plate as soon as you can, and there's no shame in being resourced. Because like that's what it's there for. And it's so hard to be a person, and it's so hard to go through things, and it's so hard to make like a ton of decisions and just everything. And if you can take like overwhelming monetary thoughts off your plate, I would, you know, strongly encourage you. Okay. Weird. Whoa. Interesting. What's up? What poll? Fun. Wait, I didn't know you could do a poll. Okay, well, that's cool. All right, I'm gonna do another round of writing and then probably call it because I want to go to bed, because I want to wake up and I want to do my laundry and I want to work out and shower. God. Being a person's so hard, guys. Like, I'm doing okay at it, but jeez. Okay. Here we go. All right, I'm going to read my essay after I read the chat. I'm always so fascinated by what other countries call like Uber Eats. In Ireland, it's called Deliveroo, like kangaroo, but with delivery up front. And also, yeah, just want to reiterate like, no shame in getting help. And also, family is often the just not great in terms of, and it's so hard. But the more we can like separate the reality from what other people are trying to tell us is the reality, the more centered we can be, which is not I'm literally about to read an essay about how I cried in a yoga class, so just know everything is tough. And I'm glad to provide a space where we can all help each other, resource each other, be there for each other, because it's really important and it's really hard, and God, being a person's so hard sometimes. Okay. Number 242, a return to form, or what do you mean I'm struggling to hit pigeon pose? I went to yoga last Sunday for the first time in 8 months. I'm really glad I went. It completely devastated me, but like in a good way. In the way you need sometimes, because catharsis can only come when we allow ourselves to actually let go and feel the feelings. My entire life I've been flexible. This was the first time I felt like I didn't understand the strains of my body. I couldn't wrap my left thigh around in the same way. The secret, which really isn't a secret, is that I haven't really worked out a lot this year. I worked out a lot last year, but this time around it's been really hard for me to be motivated to anything beyond laying in bed and reading for hours at a time, which like could be good, but the books I'm reading aren't exactly substantive, and I'm mostly just allowing myself to wallow in my misery / distract myself from the misery brought on by the wallowing, and that cycle just keeps going around and around and around. Thankfully, in May, I got a job, so I started leaving the house more. I've put valiant effort into saying yes to every single invite I've gotten to hang out, do something, or go somewhere. But I haven't been moving my body, I haven't been eating well, and it turns out if you do that for 3/4 of the year, it will make a difference. It's neglect. I've been neglecting myself. Everything hurts too much. Everything hurt too much. I went numb, and now I'm inflexible and getting winded from the stairs more frequently. When I couldn't hit the pose, I cried a little. So when I couldn't hit pigeon pose on Sunday, yoga blankets are a great spot to cry in, actually. Really good energy to surround yourself with. I released, I let it out, and then, because this was yin yoga, I sat in my modified pigeon pose for another 4 minutes, and during that time had a lovely little pep talk with myself. Because I had cried, so now I was ready to heal. Can't heal until you cry, can't numb your way through grief, baby. If I was coming back to yoga after 8 months because of a physical injury, I would have so much less judgment for myself. I would have been so proud to have made it, to be pushing through, to be participating, and putting myself out there again. So why was my mental health, which had been fabulously injured several times over this year, starting with the ultra devastating can't even think about her without crying, still very sudden loss of boo-boo, any different? The vet tech told me I would feel guilty forever, but he said it in this really kind, resolute way. My guilt isn't special, my grief is not unique, and I'll never stop wondering if I could have done something sooner or better, if this was a degenerative spinal disease or if the injury I had missed over and over again for years. Boo Boo may have been in pain for longer than I knew, but she's not in pain anymore, and that's what matters. I'll miss her forever, and I loved her so much. She was my first adult decision, and I never took the baby locks off the cabinets that she used to plunder. It's an ode to a memorial. It makes sense that it's been a hard year. That doesn't make it easier to have experience, but it should help me go easy on myself and my decisions. It should guide me towards gratitude for the fact that I'm feeling marginally better every day, and when you add enough of those days together, sometimes I even feel okay to good. Especially when I'm hanging out with friends, having conversations, getting to know people and their hopes and their fears and their desires. I love making jokes and eating heirloom tomato sandwiches and laughing because I'm trying to keep the white shirt I wore to eat said tomato sandwich in pristine. I love sitting in buggy, muggy backyards and hearing about this week's adventures. I like that I'm now being funny with my coworkers over Slack and have stopped being precious about using a ton of exclamation points. My dentist took x-rays last week because nothing is wrong, but I don't like how swollen the gums are, and I want to take a closer look to make sure we're not missing anything. And I almost cried because I felt cared for, I guess. Everyone in there is always psyched to hear that my teeth are continuing to improve. I wonder if it's because I cried during my first appointment because I was so relieved that after not having gone to the dentist for almost 10 years, I just had one root canal and some gum stuff to work on. Everyone who works there is so nice and non-judgmental, and they just want to help me take care of myself, and they know that shame is not a helpful vibe to bring to that chair, so they make it easy to come back. There's so much I have meant to do this year that it eclipses my ability to look at what I have done. In August, I've run a workshop series where every single Sunday we get together and set goals, journal, or break down a big project. This coming Sunday, we're gathering for our final session, August review, and September preview. And I know I will have things that I'm proud of having accomplished in August because one of them is the very workshop series that I'll be hosting when I ask that question. Every week at work, we talk about weekend plans, and I always feel like I'm scrambling to put together an answer. So I was slightly stunned when my coworker said, "I feel like you've always got a bunch of stuff going on." Because she's right. I do. I am doing my best to live my life. I'm going to Mike's, I'm saying yes to yoga, I'm facilitating workshops, and putting together one sheets for upcoming podcast projects. I'm seeing movies, I'm getting tickets, I'm adopting a new cat and crying in a good way anytime she does anything that kind of echoes Boo Boo's behaviors. I still haven't accepted that her name is Dove, but she hasn't revealed her actual name to me quite yet, so I'll be patient. It has been a shock to realize just how bad it's gotten, but it's also been really heartening to realize that I got through it and I can bounce back. It will take a combination of time and effort, and only one of those factors I have any control over, but I can make my life what I want it to be. My left leg will lead during a pigeon pose if I keep trying and stretching and growing my capacities again. The hardest part of getting in shape is the beginning when you feel every twinge of every muscle and the soreness just spikes through you. But the only way to the other side is to feel it and keep showing up anyway. Small things add up. Taking out some recycling is better than taking out no recycling. And I believe in myself and my ability to recover because I always have. When I was in high school, my mom left for a few months and my dad refused to let me live with him while she was gone. The woman who came to stay with me, mom's friend's daughter, former babysitter, who at the time was runner-up Miss Arizona and was the first person I had seen under the age of 65 with tattooed eyeliner, earnestly told me, "No storm in nature lasts forever, chica." And while that quote is true, it's also like comically unhelpful advice for a 17-year-old, but it's also unbelievably applicable to every other aspect of life that I just kind of have to laugh at the absurd simplicity of the truth. This too shall pass. Or, in the immortal words of Don Draper, this never happened. It will shock you how much this never happened. Grief is weird. Life is weirder. The depths of our sorrow are equal and opposite to the scope of our love and joy. We mourn because we cared. We mourn because we can't share the things that reminded us of them anymore. We mourn because it mattered, and it still matters. You gotta let yourself grieve and you gotta let yourself move. Leave the room, start anew, find something that allows you to continue to be alive without feeling like you're being swallowed into a somewhat comfortable hole in the ground that has everything you need to survive but none of what you need to thrive. In my Monday morning prompt this week, I wrote about wanting to be like a palm tree. Steady roots, even in the hurricanes. Strong but willowy, able to adapt and bend without losing my shape. Lightly terrifying. Because I might drop a coconut and injure someone, but also admired because have you seen palm trees? They're dope as hell. And I think that's going to be it for me this time around. I have thoughts and coherent pop culture takes to share, I promise. One day I'll get around to writing, but it just might take me a little more time. I hope everyone is having an August worth remembering, and I'll catch you in the next newsletter. I don't know, is that too much emotional whiplash at the end? I do think people cry a lot in yoga. I think that's especially true for yin, um, which is the one I went to. Personal. Um, do I want the palm tree? Eh. Eh. Okay, thank you for saying it's not too much emotional whiplash. I really appreciate that everyone let me read that. Send everyone now. Gotta hit send. Gotta keep hitting send. Just hit send. It's okay. I've lost. We were at 594. So I've only lost like a little less than like 18 followers. That's pretty good. Oh, that's cool. I feel like I'm always outnumbered by Canadians in the chat. So I'm sure if you're looking for some Canadian recommendations, people might actually have some. I know people here are from Toronto. That's God. It's so funny to me that like I'm really proud. I love that in all of that I didn't say, and I make videos every single day, and like I do all this other shit that I never consider part of it. Um, and yeah, I don't ever give myself credit for doing this stuff. You know what I mean? And I need to slow down and realize that this was all stuff I wasn't doing this time last year. Actually, okay, fun fact, this time last year was my first workshop, like at all, like period. And that was fun. And then I just kept doing it. And now everything is so different. Speaking of things going on tour, there's like a night to remember of 30 Rock happening, and I'm like, I didn't get tickets, and I want to go. I want to go so bad. I am gonna go see O'Mary next month before Meg Stalter's out, which I'm really, really, really excited about. I don't think I'll go see Bowen just because I don't I don't know. Maybe I will. We'll see. um, I have a confession, which is that I never watched Schitt's Creek. And I feel like it's one of those things that people love, and I just couldn't get into it, and I always feel really bad about that. Um, okay, we should go see O'Mary. Like, any day you want to go, just let me know. We'll go see O'Mary. It'll be fun. Um, that's the I have heard that. I have heard skip season 1. I do. The thing is, I appreciate it, but there's something. Yeah, feel free to come. Especially like I'm like if you live in New York, we can hang out. Like, that is the offer I will make. Uh, it's a good time. Yeah, I think like that's like I think most shows hit their stride in season 2. Also, my phone is at 10%, so if it suddenly dies, sorry. I should go to bed because it is almost 12. But I did say that that was the goal. Um, hey, uh, if you make it down to the city, let me know. Um, but yeah, with Schitt's Creek, I feel like it's really positive in a way that I need to be in a very specific mood to be like excited about. Um, and I think that's fine. There's something about I always skip season 1 of Parks and Rec, and whenever I'm telling people to get into the show, I'm like, skip season 1. Like, it's not worth it. Also, you don't have to dox yourself, but I do wonder where in New York you live because I used to live upstate. Um, but yeah, I think with Schitt's Creek, it's very like I just wasn't in the right mood when I tried it, maybe because I get a little bit Alexis stuck in my head, like not not often. Um, nice. I have been to Rochester many times. My ex's mom lived in Rochester. I've eaten several garbage plates in my life. I went to Ithaca College. It's like an hour away. My best friend went to RIT for one trimester because they do trimesters at uh, RIT, which I think is really funny. But her roommate was a beekeeper who was at RIT for glass blowing. Um, but yeah, Rochester is a really interesting place. Like I always had a good time visiting. My ex's mom does some like volunteer work where she takes care of one of the like child graves from like the early 1900s that are in that graveyard slash park. Um, and I thought that was very cool. And we went there and like there was a ton of yeah, this roommate was fucking wild. She also grew like because my friend grew up in the Champlain Islands, which is like these islands in Vermont. And and she was like it was really fucking remote. Like it was like an hour outside of my small town to go get her. Like the islands are remote and we often mocked how remote they were. And then this beekeeping fucking roommate was like, yeah, I live on an island that you actually have to like row a boat to get to. Like, Jesus Christ. Frederick Douglass, hey, the Seneca Falls Convention was in Seneca Falls, upstate New York, baby. Um, yeah, my ex's mom was kind of like, it's not funny, but it's like it was a little sad. Um, because it was very like everyone went and put their I voted sticker on Susan B. Anthony's grave when Hillary was supposed to win in 2016. Um, and that is tough. Yeah, also, what you don't have to reveal what's going to get you detained. My sister and I, whenever we used to go to Montreal, she used to make me practice asking her border patrol questions. Um, because she would always get nervous that she was going to say yes, we have guns and weapons in the car. Um, And so we always used to go, yes, I mean, no, for many, many, many times. One time, have I told this story? One time I went to Montreal for a Yo La Tango concert with my brother and my sister. And our car on the way home, the engine started overheating and we couldn't find coolant. Like it wasn't available. And we had to get the car towed across the border. Yeah, Yo La Tango in Montreal feels like the correct place for that to have happened. It was also definitely in like the gay district of Montreal, and we walked by a guy who said something on the phone that I can't picture like a more stereotypical gay man in his like late 40s, early 50s, black mesh tank top, cargo pants, and like lace up, like very like very leather fetish boots. And he was standing on a sidewalk and in just like the best accent ever going like, and then I told him, well, you could stick it up my arse. And I was like, yeah, this is being an adult. I was like 15 when I went to this concert. And so we had to get the car towed across the border, which meant that my dad had to drive to Canada at like midnight. And we all got in his car. And then we got the Canadian AAA to tow it to the border. And then we put the car in neutral. And the Border Patrol agents pushed the car across the border. And then AAA in America picked it up on the other side. And that is how you get a car towed across the border in like 2008, 2009? I'm like, would Meg have been in high school? We used to go to Montreal a lot. We almost moved to Montreal at a certain point because my dad was working with a guy, like I could say his full name, but he's dead now, who ran like he like owned like the majority of cargo planes in Canada. His name was Ed Pegram. He had a compound that I crashed a Skidoo at when I was like 10 years old. And he had a dog named Jazz, who was huge and was always trying to eat off my plate. And so we almost moved there, and I almost went to Miss Porter's in Montreal for my education, and then we didn't. And I kind of always wish we had, because I really like Montreal. And then I had a couple friends who went to McGill, and I had one friend who went to Bishop's. And now she lives in Niagara Falls and brews beer. Skidoo? Skidoo? I don't know how I said it. I think it's like, it's one of those things of like, it's a, hell yeah, smart friends. You mean the Harvard of Canada? It was really funny. In my public high school in Vermont, we had a ton of people go to Ivy Leagues, and so it's always very funny to be in Gilmore Girls when she's like, I'll never get into Harvard from this stupid little public school. I'm like, half the kid, like every kid who wanted to go. Yeah, the Harvard of the McGill is really hard to get into, and it's a very it's a good school. Yeah, so it is called the Harvard of Canada. I don't think there's like a better, like I don't think there's a school with like a better reputation in Canada necessarily. But I know that people have like other very different, like there are hard schools to get into. And I also lived on the East Coast. Like I lived so close to McGill that was like the place that most of the people who I was around were going to go to. They weren't going to head to, like Vancouver for college necessarily. I almost went to Evergreen out in Washington, which I kind of regret not doing, but I also hated living in the Pacific Northwest so much that I don't know if it would have happened. Montreal, I think like most people speak English and like they'll give you some attitude, but like, but you know what's really funny? In Paris, they've actually gotten a lot nicer because they were scaring the tourists. So, people in Paris are now like trained to be nice to people who don't speak French, and I'm like, the French Canadians are not backing down. If anything, they're meaner now than the French. But I do think if you know like basics, most people will fucking take pity on you. Um, yeah, and I want to emphasize I'm saying everything I know about the Canadian college system from my very limited American experience. Um, yeah, Paris, the thing about Paris is like it's a lovely city full of very different people, and, you know, um, whenever we went, my dad would always just be like, let me talk to the people instead of you to my mom. My friend once went for a trade show, um, and she and her coworker traveled to France, and her coworker is from Sweden, but like has lived in America for the last like, like 10 years or whatever. Um, and my friend was like saying something, and somebody shot them like a judgmental look. And my friend was like, "Oh, we're the loud, annoying Americans." And her friend went, "I'm not American." And I say that all the time whenever I want to pull out the fact that I'm not American. And I am. I'm half American, but the other half of me is not. And I over identify with that half of me. Yeah, I think that makes total sense. I think like it's one of those things where like knowing two languages is always going to be beneficial. And I think it's cool that there's a spot in Canada where everybody's like, yeah, we fucking speak French here. All the signs are in French. Like it's similar, it's not similar, but in Ireland in 2003, the EU declared Irish a dead language. And within the year, Ireland was like, no, it's not, reverse that decision. And so now all of like the road signs in Ireland are in both Irish and English. And people call it Irish instead of Gaelic and all of that stuff. Hi. Yeah, I feel like that's like Americans are always like, maybe they'll think I'm Canadian. Like, maybe I'll have a decent reputation. Um, yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, in Ireland, there's very few places that speak primarily Irish, but there is an area. So I think Quebec is somewhat like Donegal in that way. Um, and it's cool to know Irish. It's one of those things where I'm always like, I should learn that. Okay, my phone is going to die, and it is midnight, so I think I'm going to call it so that it's on my terms instead of just ending abruptly via my phone's death. And Weem is crying. Weem's crying. I have to go to bed because then she can get in bed and snuggle, and that's what she wants. She won't let me pick her up. Dove lets me pick her up. Weem is still like, no. Like, um, Irish is cool. And there is a comedian in New York who like does her like Instagram stuff in Irish, and I think it's really cool. And I should take a class, but I'm always like, I should learn Spanish. And then like I did do a year of French on Duolingo, didn't learn shit, but like I did commit to it. Um, I want to say her name is like Live in NYC, like LIV in NYC. Um, she has red hair. Like, hang on, let's try to find her. Ugh. I'm not logged into the right Instagram to find her, but I want to see if I can find her. That's not it. New York comedian, Irish. Well, I will try to find her. Um, like, what the fuck could her name be? But this isn't, I'm logged into like my business Instagram on here because this is where I write the thing from. Wow, I should look at some stuff. I have not, oh no, I haven't posted on here since April 20th. Yikes. Oops, that's on me. Um, wow, I used to look like that. Okay. Welsh is difficult, but if you learn, it's like phonetic. So once you learn it, you've learned it, which is cool. Um, Irish has like some weird tenses. It's very interesting. Okay. Great talk. Glad everyone could be here. Hope everyone had a slightly better night than they might have had otherwise. I really enjoy doing these. I'll definitely do one again on Sunday. I don't know what this weekend holds in terms of other plans. So many consonants. And they're all, it's like Polish where they're all like right next to each other and you're like, that can't be pronounceable. It's like, it's not that it's phonetic, like you can't like, but like once you learn like how those letters all form different sounds, every word follows that. It's instead of like French where half of the word is not pronounced. You know what I mean? Like, nice. Hell yeah. Okay, that's gonna be it for me. Otherwise, I'll keep yapping, and my phone is literally on 1%, so this has to be it. Have a great night. Thanks for letting me read my essay. Sometimes it only takes 40 minutes to write something you really care about. Isn't that so cool? Okay. Hope y'all have a great rest of your evening. Like if you're in New York City this weekend, let me know. I need to do things this week. If you want to come to the August review, September preview session, please do. I didn't link that in the essay, I'm realizing. But it's in the link in my bio. So feel free to sign up for that. Don't pay me for it, just come. Sign up for free. Set some goals for September, and then we'll all get together occasionally and work towards accomplishing them and feeling good about our lives and our choices. Because that's what it comes down to, man. Okay. Have a great rest of your night. So glad we could all be here. So thankful that Dove is a desk ornament sometimes. Okay, that's it. Bye.